going to say, are we going to fucking do this or what? Because Curtains keeps holding up her finger like, and we're going. No, we're not. Okay, one more time. All right, ready, guys? And, oh, shit. No, I got to do this now. Like, tell me what I'm fucking doing. Oh, recording. Hey, welcome to another episode. Another one. And another one. And another one. Another one. Another episode of Books and Bullshit, where the topics are made up and your opinions do not matter. Not that we don't like you guys. Well, it might be that we don't like you guys. But anyway, love you guys, mean it. Coming at you live again. Not live. What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, sound like a
so many things.
Right? Now, we're coming at you from Layla's Home for Wayward Authors, obviously. Y'all know me, Zachary Chopchinsky, the Bowtie author. And I'm here with Martina McAtee, the queen of snark and dark. She's over there on her computer, probably looking up pornographic materials.
Not anymore.
Sad. So today...
I am sad about it, actually.
I get that. I would be, too. Today we're actually going to talk about books. We keep not talking about books, and since books is literally kind of what we're supposed to be half about, and, you know, like half and half, books and bullshit, we're a lot more bullshit. So much more bullshit. So we're trying to get some books up in this bullshit. So today, Martina, I know you're doing things, but what are we talking about?
We are going to talk about our favorite paranormal books and myths and legends and sort of the stuff that, like, the stuff we started reading and kind of, like, fed our love of all things kind of supernatural and spooky and their origin stories. But thanks for throwing me under the bus while I'm trying to fucking do
you know what? Things over here. I wanted the people to know that you were here and it's not just me talking alone to a microphone. That rhymed. Talk alone to a microphone. About to start my rap career.
Oh, that'll end quickly.
Back to the middle and around again. I'm going to be here to the end. 100%.
Jesus Christ. Please, I beg of you. Stop. You're embarrassing us.
Alright, stop. Collaborate.
There he goes. That fucking train's never late.
Nope. You good, doof?
Alright, I think I have everything pulled up that we need for later.
Alright, so let's get this rolling, because right now in the...
I got no place to put my fucking computer.
It is hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock in here right now. Alright, so, Martina, why don't you start, since I think you and I might have the same one, so I'm going to let you start just so you're not left out.
Alright, since you've already stolen mine, I'm going to go with what I said before, which is, I think my favorite...
Wait a minute. So, before you say anything, because we might... So, I know that I'm...
You're really just fucking with me right now, right?
No. Sorry.
You're like, stop what you're doing, even though you're doing 7 things for the podcast, and fucking talk. And then you're like, nah, just kidding. Don't fucking talk now that you've stopped what you're doing.
I'm going to need you to calm down. Okay, breathe.
Never in the history of ever has telling a woman to calm down ever made her calm down.
I'm just saying you're being emotional. So...
Feel free to hit him or throat something at him.
Or throat something at him.
Right in the throat.
Don't throat me.
He says as he shoves that big black fucking microphone all up in his grill.
I'm just saying. So is this horror genre specific or?
It's just paranormal. Like all of like the myths and the legends and stuff. Like the mythology behind like our favorite books and stuff. Like,
and we've got stuff from readers on our pages and things like that, right? So okay,
we asked them about
cool
their
stuff.
favorites. And somehow I closed the wrong window, like a fucking asshole.
And later on in this episode, we're going to have a nice conversation with another author talking about her favorites, too. So that's going to be fun. Trying something a little new. All right, Martina, now you can go ahead. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page.
Oh, can I?
Yes, you can.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And I swear to God, if I start talking and you do that thing where you cut me off, I'm going to fucking throat punch you.
I'm 100% positive.
That microphone's going to take a tour up your ass.
You guys want to hear my heartbeat through my anus?
That's how Zach picks up guys in gay bars.
Okay, story time. So, we're at a
That
bar.
only took 5 minutes for us to get to the gay porn.
Oh, 4 minutes and 42
We hit a new record.
sad part is Layla's correct because she's looking at the recording screen right now. So we're at a bar up in Maine. It's one of our last nights there, and a friend takes us out to a dance club, and we're hanging out. This one guy at the bar keeps buying everybody drinks, all of us. And so at the end, I go to shake his hand. I'm like, all right, thanks, man. Shakes my hand, and then he locks onto my hand and won't let go. And then this index finger creeps forward and starts rubbing like this on my wrist. It is the most uncomfortable handshake ever.
And he's making eye contact.
And I go to pull my hand away, and rather than letting my hand, he squeezes harder and leans his face down, you understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? And he keeps doing that, and I'm like, I lean back to Layla, say, get him off my hand before I break it. And and then we all get out of there. The next day, I'm telling this story to my sister Kaz, and I'm like, what the fuck? And she's dying. You do realize that was a let's go someplace and fuck real quick, club scene kind of thing. I'm like, no. But it was, and now I'm uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's, how could you not get that that's where he was going?
It was, but here's my thing is, okay, even if that was my scene, and I was like, okay, cool, let's go hook up. One, very, very aggressive. Yeah. I go to pull my hand away, and he squeezes harder and pulls his hand, pulls my hand. And
yeah, no, that's not cool.
Yeah, I'm like, so one, fuck you, because
gay or straight, that's not cool, man.
That's what I'm saying. Aside from that, you were super aggressive with that.
Gay guys can be dicks too.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway,
it's
sorry.
not just for straight guys.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead, Martina. Sorry.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about your pick for this one.
Mm-hmm. Glad to know we derailed this so fucking early.
Wait, before you start, I gotta.
And that's how Zach died.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm just fucking.
Doing what he loved, some big black thing up in his fucking face.
No, that's not what I was trying to tell you.
It was. She's like, you're not deep throating the mic enough. She's basically telling me. Okay. I'm sorry. I've got a lot going on my side of the fucking table, okay?
I don't know what
I got
you're talking
3
about.
dogs. I got a laptop. I got a phone. I got everything. It's very much, not cool.
And it's warm in here because there's also...
so hot in here.
This room is 14 by 14. There are 3 dogs, 3 grown-ass adults, and 2 cats. And no air circulation.
At all. Even our fan is just like, what the fuck?
You want me to push hot air around? Okay.
It seems unhygienic, but I guess I will if you want me to.
Okay.
All right. So even though I write about shifters, werewolves, that sort of thing, I'm going to say that I guess my favorite and the first my first love of all things paranormal will definitely be Zach. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm
Did you not take your fucking Adderall today? What is wrong with you?
I don't get Adderall.
Clearly. We're going to start limiting your caffeine. Jesus Christ. Vampires. It's fucking vampires. I know nobody cares anymore, and you probably all just tuned out and turned the fucking thing off. But yeah, we are actually talking about paranormal shit eventually. When we're done talking about Zach's dick and his fucking gay
When
adventures.
have we spoken about my dick? This episode.
Right now. Here it is.
Surprise! Zach's dick.
Let's just get it out of the way. Because it always comes back around.
Wow, there's a lot of euphemisms here about my dick.
Yeah, I thought I'd give Stephen King a break.
From my dick.
Yes. Stephen King's dick needed a break from your dick. No.
No.
That's not right either. I'm bad with words.
Yes.
It's a good thing I write for a living.
All right, so vampires. Why?
Well, I'm so glad you asked.
I can do things too.
Well, the first books I read that had to do with vampires were L.J. Smith's Vampire Diaries series, which eventually went on to become a show after Stephanie Myers made vampires cool again. Just like the Donald Trump of vampires. Sorry. I don't know. I have a lot of caffeine going through my system, and I am very, very sleep deprived.
Oh, shit.
But gross. Can't believe I even uttered his name out loud. I'm sorry. Anyway, stop making that face at me. It's scary. But yeah,
it's
so
just my face.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. But yeah, no, she kind of made the whole I mean, I guess at the time, it's what every fucking girl wanted to read. Like, it was like two brothers fighting over you, and they're both equally hot, sexy vampires. But it's funny the way that the books transitioned into the television show. Because, like, in the books, Bonnie was a chunky redhead, and in the show, she's, like, this smoking hot, like, black girl. And, like, a lot of the things that ended up happening in the show obviously never happened in the books. In the books, spoiler alert, it's been fucking 25 years, guys. If you haven't read it, that's not my fault. Damon ends up with Bonnie. And I was like, oh, the hot vampire ends up with the chunky redhead? Fucking sold. I'll read these books all day long. Because it never happens in real life. I have no hot vampire. Now I'm sad. Go on, Zach. Just kidding. But then I was like, I went on to read like Anne Rice's Vampire, what did she call the series itself? Was it because there's a name for the whole series? Because I read it started with Interview with the Vampire, but then she went on. But I swear, there's like
just
the books are right there, Layla.
Wow.
Well, I certainly can't get to them.
No, that was wow on Layla's part. Like, hon, they're your books. That's your bookshelf.
She fucking loves Anne Rice.
Yeah, the Vampire Chronicles.
So that's what I was going to say, the Vampire Chronicles, but I could not for the life of me remember. God damn, that chair is spinning. Right. That's kind of what I felt like, too. I was like, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to be way wrong. Because I remember her other one was the Mayfair Witches.
Yes.
Like, and that one was okay, but it wasn't as good as, like, to me, it wasn't, like, as good as, like, the vampire mythology. There's just something, I don't know, there's just something really hot about, like, some immortal being that's like, you're the one. Out of, like, the 5,000 years I've been alive, you're the bitch I fell in love with. Like, that's hot, especially when you're a fucking teenager. But it's just some of my favorite books growing up were just like the whole, what's really popular right now, A Discovery of Witches, that television series. It started in England, but now it's on Sundance. That's the channel, right? Sundance Channel. You guys wouldn't know because you get live channels. Sorry.
Wow.
Because you're always complaining about it. But it's based on a series by Deborah Harkness. And it's about a witch and a vampire who fall in love. But it's kind of, it seems like it came out before Twilight, but it actually came out after. So if you take sort of the whole premise of, like, the vampire, like, because in Twilight everything was, like, you know, I don't have to get into it. You guys know. Vampire, it was just very, like, wish fulfillment of, like, some pimply 16-year-old girl. Well, this is sort of, like, wish fulfillment for bored academics. Because the girl in the show is like, she's a witch, but she doesn't use her magic. She comes from a long line of witches. There's like a underground sort of coven of witches. And then she meets this other academic who's a vampire. And it happens because she goes to Oxford to study this text called Ashmole, I want to say like 761 or something like that. And she just goes to the thing and she calls it up and they just hand her the book and she goes to read it. And when she opens it, like, she puts her hand on the book and everything just starts to, like, show up, like all these words and stuff. And it like sort of like gets absorbed into her and it leaves this mark on her hand. And after that, everybody starts losing their shit because both vampires and witches and demons have all been trying to get a hold of this book. But she's the only one who's ever been able to call it up from the archives. And they basically thought it was a myth. So then, of course, she doesn't know how to use her magic because she's just all anti-magic or whatever. And then she runs into this vampire who is another academic because, you know, she's an academic. So that would be hot to her. Another, like, hot, smart guy. And it's just this whole thing. And the best thing about these books is the history. Is she goes so in depth because in real life she is a professor and a historian. So she goes really in depth with all of her research, which can get a little heavy, kind of like in Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. Mm-hmm. It kind of gets a little bit bogged down. The first book is fast paced and it's just like really great. And it's like, you know, witches falling in love with vampires. It's very sexy and stuff. But then the second book gets a little heavier, but they're time traveling, so that's kind of cool because you get to see all the different things. But it's a really good series, and I think that that's kind of like, it's just all the best books that I remember growing up had hot vampires, whether they were male or female. Even in Laurel K. Hamilton's series about necromancers, they still had like werewolves, and they still had like those other creatures that all made an appearance. So I don't know, I've just been obsessed with paranormal stuff since, I don't even remember when it started, like way before things like Goosebumps and stuff. Like my mom was watching like that kind of shit when I was a little kid. So I guess I just got into it too. What about you, Zach? What's your favorite?
Ditto. So
let's talk about my dick some more.
Yeah. No, I gotta say, actually, if we're talking about paranormal specifically, because, there's always fictional characters or creatures that everybody kind of likes. I really sort of stole Martina's favorite, but whatevs, is werewolves. I fucking love them. I think they're way better than vampires. Technically, in actual lore mythology, they're about 1,000 years older than vampires. They've been around since the ancient Romans. And it's really interesting because the mythology behind it was that there was a king or an emperor or something like that, and they were having the gods over for dinner. Like, they were having this big feast, and the gods were invited. And so the gods were showing up, but the king or emperor, whatever he was, wanted to pull one over on the gods, and he basically killed slaves and cut them up and put them in the food and cooked it for the gods. And the gods ate the food, and they immediately knew what he did.
I like the fact that you're telling me, like, I don't already know this, like, I don't write this
I'm
mythology.
I'm looking at you.
You're making the most creepy eye contact with me while you're telling me this. You're just like, listen to me.
Listen to this shit, bitch. And so anyway, so they punished him by basically making him a beast worthy of eating human flesh, only he couldn't turn back from being, a beast. He was stuck at the wolf form. But I don't know, I just always thought they were very cool. That whole, like, monster from within that they would bring out and then would do all this savage shit. I just think it's really, really cool.
So, as far as werewolves go and their mythology, do you like the tortured werewolf, like when they shift, it's like super painful and it's a curse? Or do you like the ones where it's more like, it's like a badass gift that just kind of got bestowed on them and they just turn during a full moon and it's like no big deal?
Painful. Because I think that's more apt to the original mythology a little bit. And also, I mean, me with the books that I write, the science fiction that I put in it, I like to be fairly accurate. If you're going from a 5'10" to 6'1" person or whatever, and you're turning into like this 7.5 foot tall, ripped out, shredded out werewolf, that's gonna rip through you. That's gonna hurt like a motherfucker. And it was
magic.
Nope. It was originally supposed to be a curse.
It's magic.
It's a curse.
Just saying.
Curse.
She writes it.
It hurts. Even when Wolverine, when his claws come out, they used to hurt him when he first started coming out, and then he got used to the pain. I'm not saying it's going to be painful for them forever, but the initial process.
Well, in my books, it's like, depending on how you became like a werewolf. So for the Native Americans, it was a curse. So like their shifts are really painful. Whereas for like the pack and their origins, like, which is sort of the myth of like what you were talking of, it's more like over time they no longer are in pain. So it kind of actually causes like the Native Americans don't associate with the other wolves outside of their territory often, because there's sort of like a fuck you, like we have it as a curse, but you guys, the white man as usual, gets it as a fucking gift, which was sort of unintentional on my part, but now that I'm saying it out loud, it's like, I mean, they're not wrong. It wasn't supposed to be any kind of like political statement, but thinking about it, it's not exactly untrue. Fucking white man commandeering everything and somehow profiting off of it.
Nothing.
Cannot even have a fucking, just a wolf. Can't even be a werewolf without some white guy fucking taking over. Talk about cultural appropriation.
Right.
But yeah, so with mine, depending on where the origin of their lycanthropy comes from, is like how painful their shifts are.
And that makes sense. And, it's interesting, that's also one of the oldest types of mythology going all the way back, is similar to lycanthropy, which is shifters as a generality. Almost every culture, if not every culture that I'm aware of, has old mythology around shifting, and it's interesting because it changes from country. Like in Scotland, it's like a walrus or something. Like in African countries, it's a leopard or a cheetah. Like,
well, they have like the selkies, which are seals.
Mm-hmm.
They shift and they like shed their skins, and if somebody finds their skin, like it can kill them. They have the kelpies, which I think is what you're talking about in Scotland, which are horses. Like they actually they have horse shifters. Yeah, called kelpies.
That makes sense because the national creature or whatever symbol of Scotland is a unicorn, so that kind of makes sense.
Is that really true?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my dad used to play me the unicorn song. Has anybody ever heard that song?
I've heard Dominic the Donkey.
It's actually not that unsimilar, but the unicorn song is basically how it's like a Irish folk song about why there's no unicorns now and how they basically missed the boat when Noah was taking all the creatures because they were too busy fucking around.
Seems legit.
It's a song, yeah.
There's a picture of two unicorns like on like a riverbank, and the ark is sailing away from them, and one of them turns around and is like, "Shit, was that today?"
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of what the song is. Only folksy and Irish and old school. But yeah, the unicorn song. That's fun. Oh, kind of takes me back. But yeah, there's all kinds of like myths about like leopard shifters, and the Aztecs have their jaguar shifter that has a name 850 miles long that if I attempted to fucking try to throw out there, it would sound like I was having a stroke. So I'm going to try to save myself that humiliation and just say there's some really awesome Aztec jaguar shifting mythology out there. Should totally read it. But yeah, so that's basically what I spend the large majority of my time doing now is looking for obscure shifters. And then asking my group, like, what kind of shifters they want to see next.
I'm serious. You should put the bubak in your books. It's Slovak, but it's big into Polish culture. It's like the boogeyman. Some people call it the sack man. He looks like a scarecrow, and he usually hangs out by like riverbeds, and he lures children to him and then captures them and puts them in his bag.
That's fucking terrifying. I should put that in the spin-off.
I'm saying.
Because that's more adult and it'd be more fun. That's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. But right now we're trying to find shifters that are non-lethal. So, or that seem like they're non-lethal but are actually deadly. Like platypus or pandas or raccoons or skunks for book 4, because they're basically turning the high school into like a school of magic. And they're making it out like it's an equal thing because right now it's very witch heavy because the witches feel like they're in charge and they kind of run things. So they're going to try to make it look like, oh, but no, look, we're really inclusive. We're bringing in shifters too. And it's like
the
8 werewolves
shifters.
And then there's like all of these very non-aggressive, non-lethal shifters. Like, look at all these
badgers.
Yeah, exactly. Except when we started doing the research on these creatures, like a platypus, they're actually really lethal. Yeah. And I was like, this is perfect. Because it's a perfect metaphor for, like, underestimating people.
And like pandas. Like fat roly-polies is like still a bear and still fucks people up on occasion.
Will still fuck you up. Sloths, I mean, they have really sharp claws. They might not move very quickly, but they could eviscerate you if they wanted to. Those claws are no fucking joke. Like, so it should be fun. Or a disaster. Either way.
I mean, it can still be fun to be a disaster. I mean,
that's my whole career.
That's this podcast.
Exactly. Look at this podcast.
Welcome to Fun and Disasters.
Damn it! That's what we should have called this podcast.
Formerly Books and Bullshit.
At least Fun and Disasters would get on fucking iTunes.
Bunch of whores.
Us, not them.
Sorry, iTunes. We didn't. Please pick us up.
Please.
We just want to be mildly famous.
Or just like fucking get Casper Mattress to like want to fucking let us hawk their mattresses, or HelloFresh even. Call us.
Fuck that shit. I'm going for that Starbucks money.
Yeah, we ain't never getting Starbucks. No, there's only there's like a slew of people who use podcasts for advertising. Casper, Blue Apron, HelloFresh. Who's the other one? The hair color, Madison Reed. Mandy's, MeUndies. They're another one. MeUndies are great undies, by the way, but they're fucking expensive.
Oh, me undies. I thought you were saying MeUndies, and I'm like, what is that? Like some like
Nope.
like restaurants
undies.
or MeUndies.
MeUndies.
You go get some noodles at MeUndies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to eat noodles out of anybody's undies.
I don't want to eat noodles out of MeUndies.
That's a level of broke college student that even I didn't get to. Are there any clean bowls? No, just eating these ramen noodles out of MeUndies. They're clean though.
You can put the athletic supporter back in and you'll have like a bowl.
You strain your own fucking noodles.
I got a noodle in MeUndies for you.
Oh God, Layla, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with those kind of pickup lines.
I didn't really have pickup lines back in the day.
No, you were too
You still
busy
don't have
fucking
pickup
plowing
lines.
through
Oh,
all
what
of
the fuck?
Layla's friends.
Fuck both of you. I gotta stretch now. So stretchy.
You're so stretchy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's
Oh God, my leg.
I thought it was MeUndies.
This is the other brand.
Alright, so let's talk about some of our people from the social medias because we have our interview coming up here shortly.
Okay.
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 There's some really good answers.
We will
Okay, bye bye.
we will call upon the Siberian Husky shifters.
Oh,
They
yes.
will come.
Never mind. I was gonna say something really bad, and I'm like, nope. Remember
I'm
your
waiting.
audience.
I'm like, and
And I was like, sometimes I actually can pull the words back.
you did too because they were all over that mic, and then she sucked them right back in, swallowed them down.
I physically
like a champ.
swallowed them. Yeah, I'm really good at that. Okay, so Lichelle is the first person to answer. I think she lied to us. Let's see. I love stories with just enough possibility it can be true, like ghost stories. I don't like macabre or grotesque paranormal stories.
What was that word, Martina?
Macabre?
Okay, thank you. Because I hate it when people pronounce it macabre.
Been over this.
Macabre is one of my favorite words in the English language, but when people say macabre, I'm like, do you not know how to words?
Like people who say chipotle instead of chipotle?
Same people that say tortilla.
Exactly. Anyway.
Can I have a tortilla with at the chipotle?
I don't like macabre or grotesque paranormal stories, but I was raised on Goosebumps and Scary Stories, those short stories you read as kids. My favorite paranormal creatures will forever be vampires and werewolves. Girl, same. The lore of Bloody Mary terrified me as a kid, fucking same, as well as the boogeyman. Truth. Jennifer. Banshee! 8 exclamation points and no explanation.
Sounds like a banshee to me.
I have banshees in my story too. I have them all. Oh, she also mentioned Death Watch beetles. Does anybody else know where that's from?
Yeah, I've seen Practical Magic.
Yay! I'm so glad somebody else has seen it.
I'm the one that posted that we all need to like get a bunch of junk food, get drunk one night, and watch
Well, that
Practical
doesn't mean
Magic.
that you actually paid attention, Zach.
Excuse the shit out of me. Sandra Bullock was fucking awesome in that movie. And who was it in here that broke my fucking spirit when they said that house is fake?
Me.
Bitch.
It's true though. But someday I will be rich enough to rebuild it.
And I will be stupid enough to jump off the top and hope that I land safely.
Well, if they can do it in Gilmore Girls with the right equipment, you can do it too.
I'll science it. I'll make it work.
Yeah. I'm saying they made it happen in
I'll put a little
Gilmore
fish
Girls.
pond at the base so you got water to land in. And if you sink, you're a witch. No.
Exactly.
No, it's if you sink, if you die, you're not a witch. If you don't die, if you float, you're a witch and they kill you. So either way, you're gonna die.
You dead either way.
You might
'cause
as well just let
that's
yourself
if
drown.
that's not fucking man logic for you, I don't know what is. Just fucking drown the bitch either way. Rebecca. I always had terrifying thoughts of Bigfoot peeping in the windows at night as a kid. It's funny now, but back then, it kept me awake at night. Hold up. Is she implying that Bigfoot is not real?
Yes.
Because
Or
let me
that
just tell you
Bigfoot-
something.
Bigfoot is a voyeur.
Well, I mean, you can't be a voyeur if you're not real. But Bigfoot is very much real. just fucking hashtag fact. I grew up riding horses in the orange groves down in Davie, and let me fucking tell you something. My parents had some stories, and they are not fucking bullshitters. They would be terrible on this podcast. Like, they had some stories, and my dad was like the most matter-of-fact military guy ever, and he and my mom fucking both swore up and down that on more than one occasion they saw Bigfoot, but they don't call him Bigfoot. They call them
Trump.
No, I think my father would have killed Donald Trump. My dad's dead though. Haha, come after him now.
Charles is just punching with his head.
What are you trying to do? You okay?
Oh.
What's happening, my friend? Did you have a nightmare? I don't know what that was. I mean, I guess they also call them Sasquatch, which I think is what my parents probably referred to them, or skunk apes. That's what my parents called them. Skunk apes. And they say that they smell really bad. And that's how, like, you can tell they're in the area.
So, hippies?
Well, it was the 70s, but probably not. So, I'm just saying, Bigfoot's real. Keeping it real. Let's see. Rebecca also says that she loved Unsolved Mysteries as a kid. Girl, yes. Fucking Robert Stack's voice is what put me to fucking sleep at night as a young child, which is probably why I'm the fucked up true crime crazy person I am today. Because that show is fucking scary, and so is their intro music. What the fuck are you doing, Charles? Sir, where are you trying to get to? Huh? Hi. Oh shit, he's going high. He's going high.
No, he's laying down.
Aww.
Oh,
Poor baby.
chunky boy.
He's like, I'm not comfortable.
It's hot in here.
There must be some doors in the atmosphere.
There must be no toros in the atmosphere. I said, burn. It's cold.
We don't have the right stomping going on.
Okay, that was very loud.
I was like, wow, that's gonna blow fucking Layla's eardrums. Claire says she loves stories of gods interacting with mortals like the Greek and Norse mythology. Except
They were always fucking them.
always fucking Zeus. Zeus could not keep his dick in his pants, and if he had been able to, all of the fucking stories would have never been the same. Like, Zeus was a dick, and I think we can all just agree on that.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Zeus. Oh, Lichelle came back for more. She says, oh, I just thought of another one. Did anyone else hear the urban myth about the guy who lived in the bottom of a porta potty?
Yep.
It's a version of the Hookman.
They did a X-Files on it.
What? I don't want to read that. That's fucking terrifying. I already have a fucking fear of porta potties.
We all do, because they're fucking disgusting.
Because they're fucking disgusting. The first thing, if there's any situation I have to be in, and there's a VIP pass for, like, the fancy pants toilets, like the porta potty that's only got, like, two, they have, I come from festival country, so, like, Sunfest and stuff, you pay extra for the VIP pass, and it's, like, a trailer that's got super nice bathrooms.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. Definitely worth the money. If you've ever seen a fucking porta potty at a festival, you will know. Pay that extra money. Megan says... sorry, hang on one second. The stories that freaked me out the most when I was a kid came from those scary stories you read in the dark books. Fuck yeah. Oh, the Wendigo. I also write about Wendigos.
Oh, yeah.
I read it to my brothers one morning when my parents were still asleep. I had no idea what the content of the story was when I started. It was about a man in the far north in Canada who was hunting some creature. As he tracked it, he noticed that the tracks got further and further apart, as if something were being lifted on the wind and put back down. I'm intrigued. Go on.
Continue.
Eventually, the footsteps disappeared altogether, as if the creature had been pulled into the air. Confused and a bit disturbed, the hunter returned to base camp. There was a native man at the fire covered in bandages. I don't remember exactly what happened, but when they removed the bandages, the man turned to ash that was swept into the wind. The insinuation is that the Wendigo is some kind of native creature that quickens its victims to the point where they're burnt away. I've since read a lot about Wendigos, and they're more heavily associated with cannibalism in most places. But that story scared the crap out of me. It's probably one of the things that put me off horror.
Yeah, it's basically the old native belief in a lot of parts like the U.S. was if you ate human flesh, you were cursed, the curse of the Wendigo, and you became this like half human monster thing.
Right, and then some mythologies is that you basically have the gene to become a Wendigo, and the first time you taste human flesh, like you become a Wendigo for good, like you're permanently a Wendigo. So that's why my Wendigo is like...
It probably started from like, because it was like, a lot of the stories of Wendigo is like, the Dahmer party.
Never mind.
Huh?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Good.
What'd I miss?
The Dahmer party, good. I was in mid-sentence when you cut me off.
How were you?
Oh, because I would know, because I don't listen. I just look for cues to talk.
Finish your sentence and then I'll go off on my
No,
tangent.
it's fine.
Because it's a
Go ahead,
sidebar.
because now it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Just go.
See, mine doesn't matter. You go. Now it's weird. I don't want to.
Just go, Zach.
You go.
Wow, this is going to be a really boring podcast, Zachary. I will wait you out. Just fucking go on your tangent.
I don't want it. It's been played out too much.
No, I was saying in the books, like, the thing about the Wendigo in my books is that he's never tasted human flesh. He literally went to, like, some remote part in the middle of nowhere to stay away from all humans because he doesn't want to, like, trigger the curse. So, like, that's why he's, like, super important to the covens and stuff, because they need his heart for a spell. So that's part of, like, book 3 and book 4's main storyline, and it's got to do with, like, cannibalism. Zach says, having absolutely no interest whatsoever in my books. Cool.
Sounds delicious. Well, no, I'm trying to figure out, so is his heart special because he has the gene and has not turned
Correct.
Yet? Or they need a Wendigo
Basically, a
heart,
virgin
period?
Wendigo is what they're looking for.
Okay.
And so they did a locator spell, and they found him, and then they sent this kid to track him, but the kid ends up falling in love with him and protecting him. And goodbye.
No.
But yeah, so the kid ends up falling in love with him, so he's trying to protect him, which is how, like, a lot of the stuff in book 3 goes down. So
Sounds pretty gay.
it's always gay in my books. Everything's gay in my books. All gay all the time.
Warning, hella gay.
It's truth. Anyway, feel free to tangent now. You don't remember what you're going to say, do
No,
you?
I have no idea.
Well, let's go back to the audience then. The myth of Slenderman, which is probably way more your generation than mine.
No, I'm familiar with everybody like, Slender Man and like shitty video games.
It's
and
basically
stuff,
creepypasta.
yeah, I know creepypasta.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know creepypasta, it's basically like urban legends that sprung up on the internet. So anytime anybody's got like a weird story that they share on like creepypasta, it's like, it's now considered creepypasta. Like that's like but that's not how it started. It started out as like, I'm pretty sure.
Website. You go
right,
to,
it was a
like,
website,
yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But now like people will actually refer to us an urban legend as like, oh, that's just creepypasta. Like, so instead of urban legend, these newfangled kids just
Fucking
call things
millennials.
creepypasta. But yeah, so Slenderman started out as like creepypasta, and then some fucking people took it too far, and 2 12-year-olds killed or tried to kill somebody. All to impress Slenderman, a fucking thing that doesn't actually exist.
We're gonna die tonight now. Thanks, Martina.
I'm not
I don't like
scared.
that the light just kind of flickered in the room. What the fuck did you just do? I'm glad I got a shitload of guns.
Just for the record, I'm sleeping with you guys tonight.
Yeah, no kidding, right? We're about to all have to sleep on the couch, make pillow forts.
Actually sounds fun. We should totally do that.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, we should totally do that. Let's all be fucking forts because we're gonna have 18 dogs sleeping with us.
It's a good thing about Levi, like he's really protective and super strong. If only he wasn't deaf
Exactly.
and would sleep through the murder.
Exactly. Like, what? What's going on? Aw, damn it, they're all dead.
Son of a
Shit!
bitch.
I didn't do my job. Oh, this is something I've never... Okay, well, first let's talk about this one. Allison mentions Christopher Pike and his vampire series, which I'm a huge fan of Christopher Pike. Not so much his last vampire series, which is crazy because I love Christopher Pike and I love vampires. But that was not my favorite. But he 100% is the reason that I love young adult books. Christopher Pike is just daddy. He's everything. He's the reason I love everything. YA. And then something, god damn it. Sorry. Min, our friend Min, says Gwisins? 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 Gwisins. We'll go with Gwisins.
Sure.
They're usually female vengeful spirits. I'm down. Dressed in a white hanbok.
Hanbok.
Mm-hmm. With waist-long jet black hair, mostly covering their face. And
we've all seen The Grudge.
I was going to say, this is The Grudge, right? My mom used to rent Korean videos when I was younger, and one of the shows she watched was about the vengeful spirits that wouldn't leave.
She's talking about Ju-ong, which is basically where The Ring kind of came from. The Ring and The Grudge both came from that. It's a Korean storyline called Ju-ong.
Then why is she calling them Gwisins?
Huh? The story is called Ju-ong.
Okay.
Continue.
The thing about you is that you always say things with such authority, even if you're absolutely talking out your ass and you're not 100% sure. I really admire that, just blind confidence with which you say almost anything, even if it's not true. It makes me really happy, and I really hope Min's listening and she's just like, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong.
Come at me, Min.
Seriously, though, Min, I'm in. I want to know, what the fuck is this shit? Because it sounds creepy as fuck, and I want to know if he's right. And if he is, can you just tell us he's wrong anyway? Cool. But, yeah, she said, I'd sneak in a few clips, but it was these women that always gave me the creeps. As they fucking should. No, I know what you're fucking talking about, Zach. We've all seen The Grudge, and we know it's based on a fucking movie that was originally... Was it Korean, the original movie, or was it Japanese? I thought it was Japanese.
I believe Ju-ong is Korean. Hang on. That one I honestly will have to check on. Japanese.
Boom.
I just said I'd have to check.
And I'm just saying I'm usually right. But anyway, so I'm very curious because that's what she's talking about is Korean. So I want to know what the Korean, incarnation of that myth is, because it might be something worth checking out since we're all down with the creep stuff. And I think that's it for our write-ins for the day. And so I guess we're going to get to our interview with Miss Lichelle, correct?
Yeah, Lichelle Slater. Not now, Slater.
You already made that fucking joke.
Oh, I like it, and I'm going to make it again. And I'm going to
Just wait.
I'm going to make it again as soon as Lichelle's on the damn mic, so she knows how funny I am.
I'm really regretting that gift that I put up.
2 seconds here. Let's cue this up and call in Miss Lichelle.
Interview of author Lichelle Slater. Now? No, Slater.
Yes.
So Lichelle's going to tell us a little bit about a book that she's working on.
And hopefully a little bit about herself, so we all
Yeah. I mean, yes, that is true. Thank you, Martina. So Lichelle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am
Thanks,
super
Lichelle.
excited. First of all, yay! I love it. So thanks for letting me jump in here and be part of this. I am an author kind of many genres. My first series was a sci-fi fantasy, and I've got a couple of Hallmark style clean romances. But I'm really excited because this summer I'm launching a fairy tale retelling series, which is
cool.
Going to be awesome. But the book that I'm here to talk about is an urban fantasy, and it's part of the Cursed Lands box set, which is super awesome. There are 25 authors that have gotten together and for this box set, and there are books that are urban fantasy and dystopian and paranormal romance. So it's kind of exciting.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your book?
My book is Curse of a Jinn. So it's about a genie that gets summoned from. Okay, backing up. So there's a college girl named Gwen who raids abandoned houses, and she finds this old painting and accidentally summons this djinn, and so it's really exciting because she finds out she's a sorceress and all kinds of fun stuff.
So what's your mythology for your djinn? Because I know there's like a bunch of different sort of incarnations of like the whole genie mythology. So like, where does yours kind of stem from?
Yeah, I actually did a lot of research into it. So there are some little nods to the Quran because that's actually where they originate from. And there's a mythology that the jinn existed on the earth before God created Adam and Eve. And when he created Adam, he wanted the jinn to bow down to Adam. And they refused to do that. So they kind of exist in this, still on the earth, but not quite. So that's kind of where he comes from. He it's also still kind of true to the genies being a prisoner. So he killed an innocent person, and that's how he ended up in this genie prison. And he's stuck there until that person gets reincarnated and can set him free.
That's interesting. And I did a lot of research on jinn too when I was writing my book, and I remember reading a bunch about that and like in like Sumerian like demonology and Sumerian culture and stuff like that, and some of the like the mythology about the origins of like genies and jinn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I read a lot of the same research. That's really interesting that you went there, because that's kind of like my favorite take on.
Yeah, me too.
Chin to Electric Boogaloo. So
I'm gonna punch you in the face, and I'm close enough to do it this time. Pay attention.
I'm paying attention. So now, but there also are some shinings in mythology in relation to jinn, and that they're demons as well, or they're darker entities, especially when that happened and they kind of were, they're made into prisoners because of crimes and things like that. So what sort of personality or following do you do with your jinn? Is he a malevolent entity?
Is he a dick?
Is he a dick? Is he Robin Williams?
Well, he's not. No. He's actually he's been around for a really, really long time. When he was alive, he was like, his assignment when he was alive was an assassin. So his assignment was to murder the pharaoh, and that's how he accidentally killed an innocent person, because she got in the way. So he's not really a good guy, and he's been summoned so much that he just kind of finds his own way to kind of entertain himself in this prison. So if they wish for like $1,000, he'll go steal it from somebody else instead of just making it appear out of nowhere, because he finds more joy in doing that than actually making wishes come true, So
excellent. I love it. Sounds fucking great. Sounds like my kind of genie. Sorry, I'm making my dog literally pet himself, and I don't know why.
Thanks, Martina. I appreciate that. We're trying to interview people.
No, you're not. I'm sitting there staring at your crotch like a fucking jackass.
Can I get the genie out of the bottle?
You can't put the genie in the bottle. This ain't that kind of podcast, buddy. Well, it is.
So now this is in a box set. When does the box set go live?
It goes live next Tuesday.
Oh,
so the
do you want to
7th.
puke yet?
What was that?
So do you want to puke yet?
Oh my gosh, yes. I had no idea it was going to be so much work.
Yeah. It's so much work. It's so nerve-wracking.
Oh my gosh, it is. But it's been worth it. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely worth it, 100%.
But
whoever says that this is like an easy way to get anywhere,
They're liars.
They have no idea.
So it's going on now. How long is it going to be on sale in the box set?
That's a really good question. I know our push week is through the 12th, but I don't actually know how long it's like up on Amazon.
But it's currently available on pre-order, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So tell people how they can get to it.
So you can either go to cursedlandsboxset.com and that'll have all of the
I'm sorry, my dog just totally gassed Zach, and he's literally right in his face. So hold that thought for just 1 second, because we want people to actually be able to get the information they need. But Zach has currently just been pepper sprayed. So, if you could only see how close Zach is to my dog's butt right now, like direct shot.
In fact, you can.
That is
media.
So funny.
She's gonna have it on social media, so you'll be able to see that.
Yes, I'll have to go back.
God damn! I can't smell anything. Like, he took it right to the face.
Isn't that how Zach always
That's how
takes
Zach
it?
always takes it.
Well, that's what you get for having pets, right?
And it's my dog. Oh, good job, Charlie. High five.
Hate all of you.
Oh, okay. Now tell us again how you can get to the box set. You said curselands.com.
It's curselandsboxset.com.
Boxset.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it's on Amazon, it's on Nook, it's on everywhere. So, yeah.
And it's how much right now?
It is 99 cents. So you get 25 stories for 99 cents, which is.
I mean, that's a good fucking deal.
Sounds like pretty
Yeah.
sweet. Now, are these full-size stories or books or?
Some of them are novellas. Mine is a full-size novel, so it's over 60,000 words.
Nice.
So, yeah. Because I just couldn't stop. It was such a cool story.
I'm sorry, Zach's pouting about something. What's wrong?
Her box, she gets to be over 60,000.
Mine was.
Yeah.
My story was 110,000 words.
It gave you a cap. I don't know what to tell you.
I was at 50.
50?
No, the cap was 60.
Yeah, the cap is 60.
So stop pouting. But I don't know why they let mine go through. They never even questioned me.
They probably had so many people that were under 60 that they were able to.
Probably if somebody had like a 7,000 word novella, they were probably like, yeah, stuff that book in there. It'll feel like we're fluffing it up a little.
Right.
They just can't go. So the thing is they can't go over a certain number of pages because Amazon won't let you upload something that's
it's a
certain
huge
size.
file. It's ridiculous.
It is a huge file. So.
My first and second book are so big that I can't even send a file via email because they're so I can't send it directly to people's Kindles.
Just do a Insta freebie or.
Won't do it.
It won't.
It's too big.
Really?
Yep. It's a giant pain in the ass, and if I had known that was going to be a problem, maybe I wouldn't have been so damn wordy.
Oh.
So we're talking about our favorite paranormal myths and legends and everything on this week's podcast that your interview is going to be on. So
yeah.
your favorite paranormal story, what's your favorite monster, what's your thing?
Oh, I love vampires. I always have.
Me too.
Because I grew up reading, Anne Rice and stuff. So.
Oh, that's Layla's favorite thing to talk about, Anne Rice. That's her.
I love. Yeah. So that's what I grew up with. But
I did too.
Yeah, and Goosebumps, which I know those are
Fuck no, man.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
big R.L. Stein fans around here. Zach and I want to get matching tattoos.
Yeah.
awesome.
That could be podcast stuff. We'll put it on
Yeah,
Patreon.
we'll
We're
go
gonna
get matching
tattoos.
because we totally want to
There
get.
we go.
Yeah, hell yeah. We're gonna go get matching R.L. Stein tattoos. We did
Dude.
that. What are we gonna do?
The G.
That's right, the G.
Yeah.
The OG thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right. The OG, original Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Love it.
So we're gonna send it to R.L. Stein and be like, please love us.
He'd probably be awesome with that.
I don't know. He looks like an angry man. He's currently doing a math class, and and there's like ads for it, like that keep popping up on my Facebook, and it's like, learn writing from R.L. Stine. And the picture they chose of R.L. Stine makes him look like the meanest, most crotchety old man you've ever seen. It's like he's completely mean mugging in the picture, just like, yeah, fucking, I dare you. Come fucking learn masterclass from me. I dare you. And I'm just like, no, you're scary. You're probably going to tell me I suck. I'm not learning anything from you.
Well,
Maybe
he's like
there's a reason why he writes what he does.
He's like the PG-13 Stephen King.
Yeah, exactly. He really did. Like, if you remember, like, do you remember the old Goosebumps, like, the show?
They're all on Netflix.
But they were so scary at the time. Not as bad as Are You Afraid of the Dark? Do you remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
They're making a movie.
Oh my god, that was so terrifying. That was way scarier than the Goosebumps one. Didn't we try to go back and watch Goosebumps?
Yes.
Yeah, we tried to go back, and it was so awful and cheesy, and we just never knew because we were dumb kids. But, like, now, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark, I think would still stand up today. There was some shit there that I was just like, this is not safe for children. Like, I definitely do not feel safe. This is very bad.
And that was like a children's Tales from the Crypt. Like, that was a really dark one.
Fucking Tales from the Crypt is a great one, too. Does anybody else remember Freddy's Nightmares?
Yep.
Like, it used to come on at like 12:30 at night on a Saturday, and it was like Freddy Krueger was the host, and then he would talk.
Yeah.
And it was like there, and then there was one that like they had to get cursed objects back.
Sorry, that's my ringtone.
Hey.
Speaking of, I mean, at least
It's pretty awesome.
Are we watching a show now?
No, well, when we found the original Goosebumps, I went in and I'm like, I want that as a ringtone. I just wanted it, and so that's what it is. It's funny, when it goes off at work sometimes, people are like, oh, you have classical music as your ringtone? I'm like, no, let it keep going, hang on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your favorite Goosebumps story then?
I would have to say with me, just because as a kid, we used to take road trips a lot. And with my grandparents, and so they had an RV and we go around. So we had a few VHSs that we always had with us. And there were there were three with me. Stay Out of the Basement,
Mm-hmm.
The Haunted Mask, and The Haunted Tower.
What was the one with the fucking scarecrow? That one?
Oh, that's
scared the fuck out of me, and I was a fucking adult. Like, that was terrifying, and I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me, but that fucking scarecrow.
What was the one
coming back to
what was the one with the garden gnomes, the lawn gnomes that would come back?
Oh, yeah.
That one was fucking creepy.
Yeah. Mine was the dummy one.
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
Oh, God. I still don't like fucking anything that has to do with ventriloquism.
What's
and
that
not
movie?
just dumb.
Silent.
Dead Silent.
Dead Silent?
Dead Silence.
Is that the one with the dummies?
The dummies, yeah. Nope, not a fan. Not a fan of anything that has to do with ventriloquism at all.
Yep.
Not a fan.
Or marionette dolls or any of that shit.
What about castanets?
I'm a big fan of castanets, actually.
So was my mother. She had some
Of course she did.
Some
I just
very
picture her-
pretty wooden castanets.
I just picture your mom with her giant glass of wine and her
Yes.
castanets.
Yes, she did. And she
Just
would drink
rocking
that,
back
she
and
would-
forth.
And I'm like, Mom, what the fuck are you doing?
Mom, are you drunk again?
Margot reminds me of Dharma.
Oh, really?
Yes.
If Dharma and Kitty had a baby.
Yep.
That's
Kitty Foreman.
Yeah.
That would actually
That's
be
my mama.
hilarious.
That's my mama.
I fucking love Kitty from that 70s show.
That's my mom, like to a
She
T.
had a dog just like Charlie.
Shotzi.
Shotzi. And it's like, why is the dog on the counter? He likes to feel tall.
So, I mean, Lichelle, you're getting the feel for what we do, and we derail
Which
like
is
crazy.
me.
I love it. Go.
What's a couple things that you really want people to know about your story, or this box set, or you, or anything?
That's such a broad question.
Give us 5 facts about you right now. We don't care what the one just
Sell yourself.
dance, funky
Well.
dance.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
Okay, so why do you like vampires? Let's go back.
Why
to
do I?
Those are my favorite.
Okay.
Or why did you
Okay,
pick
we can do
gin?
that. Why did I pick a gin?
Go right over my fucking question, Zach. She doesn't know what she is, and
We can answer both. It's okay.
Secret free.
So I picked a gin, honestly, because Bridget made a cover, and I went, "That's a gin cover," and that's how it happened.
That's 100% like my friend Molly makes covers, and sometimes I'm just like, damn it, I wish I had a story for
Like
that cover.
her masquerade
Yeah.
cover?
Yes.
Oh my god, I want that cover
I
so
was like,
bad.
that's way too good to be a pre-order.
Right.
She already
Yeah.
she already sold it. She sold it in
Yeah.
like 10 minutes.
I know.
Like, I was just like, you bitch. I was like, these covers are too good to be pre-made. Like, what are you doing? Like, but yeah, no, I totally get that. Like, you just like, oh, I gotta write a story for that. Like,
Well,
cover.
and she had posted it and was like, "Hey guys, what kind of story would you make for this?" And everybody was commenting with these like weird things, and I was like, "You guys, that's totally a djinn. He's a genie. It's magic." And like everybody was like, "No, he's like, sexy romance." And I was like, "No, what are you doing?" And so I bought it so that I could have the idea. So that's how it happened.
Well, there you go. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why vampires? Because they're sexy.
See? That's how I feel. I am so in love with the vampire mythology that I'm
Me too.
afraid to write about vampires. Like, they're the
Yeah.
one thing that I sort of gloss over in my, like, they exist in my world, but I don't necessarily write about them, which I'm about to, like, jump off that bridge.
Ooh.
But
Ooh.
but it's like, yeah, but it's like one of those things where it's like the mythology is just so like near and dear to my heart that I feel like if I fuck it up, I'm never gonna forgive myself. So like,
Well, it can't be any worse than Twilight.
Well, that's the thing. Listen, people that are really into vampires are so torn because vampires are done in so many different ways that, like, I feel like, people that really dig Anne Rice, they cannot like Twilight. Like,
Right.
they cannot like that type of
Well-
vampire because it's like,
well, because Anne Rice,
Because it's not a
knew her for
vampire.
vampires.
she did. But you know what? That's more
No, it's
realistic.
very realistic, and blood became like sex to them.
Right, exactly.
Which is very realistic,
dig
but
that.
really not fun to read.
No, I dig it.
I need the smut.
No, I dig it.
And
You know what though? There is a ton of smut in Anne Rice books. It's just not quite.
It's about as close to gay as you can
Yeah.
get without going full gay.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Truth.
It's really gay. Like, I remember reading Anne Rice's books going, oh, come on. Nobody else sees this?
Well, it's like
Armand, for
it's like Armand,
Yeah.
Yes.
who cultivates young boys
Yeah.
for his,
yeah, for his
future
harem of
needs.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, he just
So-
wants to look at hot, nubile young men.
Exactly.
Yep. It's true.
It's true. It's totally true.
So I mean, there's definitely a fair amount of smut, and it helps that she used to write softcore porn before she started writing.
Oh, I
vampires.
know. I read her
Her
Sleeping Beauty
Yeah, her
trilogy.
beauty series. Yeah.
Shit, that helped
So-
shape who I became. I was like, I think I was 13 years old. I was like, oh, that ponytails. Okay, that's weird, but I'm not mad at it. I was like, guys and girls, 2 guys, 1 girl. I was like, this is fucking amazing. Like, where's this shit been all my life? And my sister's like, what are you doing reading that? I was like, really? We're gonna go there now after you gave me like 18 books full of smut? Now you're gonna be just completely horrified that I found your smut? Zach,
What? I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh.
you're fucking on your phone again.
I'm
Microphone?
taking it from you.
No, it's in my butt now. You can't
You think
have
she
it.
won't go for it?
Well, that's quite the place.
I know.
It's really not.
It's on vibrate. Somebody call me.
Call you an asshole.
So,
Speaking of manspreading, my dog just like
I really want to.
completely freeball it.
there are none.
Don't touch his boop.
The empty place of what went was his testicles
Yes.
is his boop.
It's just, come on now. Like, that's his private parts. Stop it.
Are you
He's already
telling
violated enough
Sorry.
yesterday at the vet's office.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to checking that book out, actually. I think we already have pre-ordered it.
Yeah, you have.
So, I mean, you guys need to check that one out if you're listening. I definitely recommend it. I mean, I personally love paranormal stuff. I mean, I'm also a whore. And so anything paranormal or
You're a
anything like...
whore or a whore? We know.
Horror.
You're a whore for horror?
Horror.
Zach's eating a dick right now. What are you doing?
What do you like? All right, so apparently his favorite mythological creature is a knobgoblin. So.
That's one of my favorite insults. I call people a knobgoblin all the time.
Such a knobgoblin. I almost put that on a post the other day, but I'm like, am I allowed to use that word?
Why not? I call kids crotch goblins.
That's true. Crabs that got away.
Um,
All right, so that's pretty much all I've got. I mean, thank you for coming by. Does anybody else have anything they want to cover before we go? Hello, Libby.
I think that's it. Anything else you want to tell us before you go?
No, you guys are awesome. Thanks.
Give
Thank
the
you
link
very
one more
much.
time.
So, what are the links for? So, where can we find your book? One more time.
CursedLandsBoxSet.com.
Okay, it's spelled just like it sounds. No silent letters.
Right.
Okay.
God. Why are you?
Why are you like this?
Because now people are gonna laugh and they're gonna be like, "Cursed land." They're gonna remember it now. They're gonna remember it. Trust me.
Okay, Zach, a super secret marketing strategy.
I'm telling you.
Instead of just being a dude.
It's kind of like jingles from the '90s, right? You're not gonna forget that. Shit. Like nausea, heart,
That's true.
indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Yay, Pepto-Bismol. I'm not
What's the jam?
I'm not associating your box set to any of these symptoms.
Hey, you know.
Just my example.
Thanks.
Pepto-Bismol and Cursed Lands.
Fresh goes better, Mentos Freshmans.
Double your pleasure.
Double your fun.
That's a statement of the great
Mint of double mint gum.
Oh my god.
I mean, I remember some jingles back in the day. Anyway, all right, Lichelle, thanks for coming by.
Well, thank you.
You guys are out there, you're listening, and you want some good. That's just a goodbye, guys. I mean, even if you're on the fence about it, give it a shot. Check it out. Seriously. I mean, it's
99 cents.
99 cents. You get
That's like 4
25
cups
stories.
of coffee. Just do it. No.
Oh no.
Wait, what? No, that's $4 for 1 cup of coffee.
Where are you getting coffee?
Dunkin' Donuts. Where do you get coffee?
Where is Harvey Dent?
Sorry, I have a dog literally trying to sit on me while I'm talking. Forgive me if I can't do math. Stop booping him. What are you doing?
Okay, Lichelle, thank you for
Yes.
coming by. I'm looking forward to the book, and good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking.
All right. Nice talking to you too.
Bye.
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 Well, that was Lichelle coming by, and I appreciate her coming in. We're going to be doing some of those in the future because that was actually fun. Sorry if the sound quality kind of got a little weird there. We had to do some fandangling with some of the mics, but I think we're good now. So anyway, thank you, Lichelle, for coming on by. Martina, you want to hit people with our social media?
Yes, now that Layla's given me a cheat sheet, this should be a little bit less
Yay
mangled.
for scripts.
Yes. We got www.facebook.com/booksandbullshit. We got Instagram.com booksandbspodcast. And Twitter is twitter.com/booksbullshitp1. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon account so you can listen to Zach read dirty porn. Oh, and other things. But it's the porn that's more interesting.
Patreon from me. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming by. Let's do this again sometime in the future. Later.
Bye.